My friends, look at the screen. This is Russian port of Novorossiysk on the Black Sea coast, and what goes up in bada-bim bada-boom in a very nice way is a Russian submarine called Varshavyanka. Ukrainians turned a Russian submarine into a submarine. What a beautiful story. Before we go into that very nice story, Christmas is coming, and I'm sure you wanna take Christmas up with wine from Bakhmut. Artur wine was rescued from the cellars of Bakhmut right before Prigozhin took his foot into those cellars, and you can get it now. Link is in the description below. Go and show your family what Ukrainian wine tastes like. Today's Wednesday, hump day. Happy Wednesday, my friends, to you and your family. And as I said, we immediately begin with a wonderful story that I'm so glad that this happened. It's just a beautiful thing to report on a Wednesday. First of all, let's watch the video. What a beautiful morning in the Russian port of Novorossiysk. How many beautiful warships are here? Even a submarine called Varshavyanka. Wow, everything's so pretty. Ooh, freedom exported. Can you feel the vibe, my friends? That is nice. And you cannot see that whatever hit it going near the submarine. So what was it? I'm glad you asked. It was a sub-sea baby. I know, what the hell is a sub-sea baby? Sub-sea baby is like a torpedo. It's an underwater drone, an underwater version of a sea baby, which is a on-water, above-water maritime drone. Sub-sea baby turned Russian submarine Varshavyanka into a submarine. Could you perhaps say turned it into a plane because it went up in the explosion? Anyway, the cost of this submarine is approximately $400 million. Creating a new one, which Russia is not going to do because first of all Russia is sanctioned, and second of all there is no production line anymore. So you pretty much cannot create a new one. You lose it, you lose it. That's how it is. It is what it is, as they say. Hey, I always wanted to say this. This is the time to say it. Are you ready, my friends? It's sleeping with the fishes. There, I used it on the right contexts. Just so you know, take a look at the map also. Novorossiysk, a little bit of east and a bit of south from occupied Crimea. It is where the entire Russian Black Sea fleet is, taking refuge. Why I use the words taking refuge? Because 2022, the entire Black Sea was controlled by Russian Navy. Then in 2022, Ukrainians sunk the Moskva cruiser. Russian Black Sea fleet got a very painful hit, and they went to Sevastopol, which is in Crimea. Then Ukraine started hitting Russian submarines and ships and everything in Sevastopol. You can see a picture here. Rostov-on-Don submarine hit in Sevastopol. Then Russians were scared away from Sevastopol and they ran to Novorossiysk. Because Sevastopol, is supposed to be the home of the Russia's Black Sea fleet. Not anymore, because Ukrainian drones control this area. Turns out now they control Novorossiysk also, because Varshavyanka was just hit in Novorossiysk. The point of this story is that Ukraine doesn't officially have a navy or a big navy. They have drones and some patrol boats. They have been able to push the Russian Black Sea fleet away from the Black Sea, first of all into Sevastopol, and then into Novorossiysk. And now they're pushing it underwater because they're sinking Russian ships. This is beautiful. By the way, the loss of a submarine is extremely painful, but the image loss from this is even more painful. So Russians immediately published a video claiming that the submarine did not sink, and this is that submarine. We don't know when it was filmed. We don't know what, they don't show the other side where it was hit, perhaps deliberately, perhaps not. Anyway, this is how Russian propaganda is trying to push back against it. But you all saw the explosion. It was big and beautiful, and they don't show the other side. So I'm saying this is damage control. The submarine is out of order. It's sleeping with the fishes. It's knocked out cold. Use whatever you want to use words on it. It doesn't work anymore. Hey, it's Wednesday. It's hump day. Christmas is coming up. So I'm gonna keep on the positive note, my friends. You're going to work or you're coming from work, you need it. Let's travel to Russian city of Penza, where a massive fuel and oil train derailed. It carried both diesel and oil together, not mixed, but together in different tanks. It derailed. 24 60-ton tankers spilled, but the drinking water is not contaminated. The soil's chemical composition is within the norm, says the chief sanitary doctor of the Penza region. Check it out. I mean, this is massive. The entire train just rode into itself, and you can see it on the photos. I mean, all these tankers filled with diesel or oil, they spilled. As you can see, the white snow perfectly brings out the black stains, which is oil and diesel mixture perhaps going into the water system. There are streams right here which go into rivers, which go into, I'm sorry, how do you call these, underground water? I don't know how to call it in English. Anyway, it contaminates the hell out of everything it touches. But it's Russia, so miracles happen all the time. It's not contaminated. That's the official position of the ones who control the contaminations. Nothing to worry about. This diesel right here, it doesn't contaminate the water because it's Russia. Let's look at some more photos, because these photos, I mean, they are beautiful to watch. Look at that. Also, why these things happen in Russia? Again, because both things that need heavy maintenance are trains and railway tracks. Both of these need maintenance, otherwise bad things are going to happen. Russians hate maintenance, hate maintaining anything. And the money given from Moscow to the local governments to maintain stuff is being stolen all the time, because you can build a new villa, you can buy a new S-Class or whatever car you want to buy with that money. So, time to time, these accidents happen because the train or the tracks is not being maintained properly, but you don't gotta worry because the groundwater is not contaminated. Now, my friends, I'm going to read you a quick thread on Kupyansk, because Ukrainians have been counterattacking in Kupyansk for the last about 2 months. It's not secret, it's not OPSEC, because they themselves announced it. I mean, Zelensky announced it in November, in 4th of November, publicly on camera, so there's nothing OPSEC about it. They have publicly counterattacked in Kupyansk to the Russian positions, pushing them back for the last almost 2 months. So it doesn't come as a surprise for me that the Russians now are pushed out of Kupyansk. It came as a massive surprise to the Russians, though. I'll read you a very quick thread. Despite setbacks in Pokrovsk, Siversk and Vovchansk, counteroffensive operations in Kupyansk managed to save the city and its surroundings for an additional months. A few days ago, Volodymyr Zelensky filmed himself at the entrance of the city of Kupyansk less than a month after Vladimir Putin claimed it was liberated by Russian forces, inviting Western media into it. That's funny, to invite Western media into a city you do not control. A year ago, Russian forces crossed the Iskil River for the first time in Dvarichna area. Back then, the infiltration remained small. However, during the spring and the summer of this year, they accumulated forces using underground pipes to enter Kupyansk city. And yes, we both have seen these videos of Russians crawling through pipes. They did that in Kupyansk, and a lot of it. Since the summer, hundreds of Russian soldiers managed to push into Kupyansk city through small boats and pipes. Boats over the Iskil River, pipes, gas or sewage pipes. In October, Russian DRGs, divergence reconnaissance groups, and flags were sighted all over the strategic city, which was previously occupied and liberated in 2022. Since October, Ukrainian forces conducted multiple small-scale counter-offensives. Alright, they started Zelensky announced it at the beginning of November. Ukrainian forces started counter-offensive here in October. So about 2.5 up to 3 months they have been doing this, and now everybody's so surprised that it succeeded. They succeeded pushing Russians out, and actually Russian forces, some of them are surrounded in Kupyansk. Very much like Dobropilya, fighting in central Kupyansk and cutting supplies to the city, destroying the pipes and the boats on Iskil River. The operation was very long and is still ongoing, with clearing operations. To summarize it all, Kupyansk is a success for the Ukrainians and a massive failure for the Russians. And what makes it even more of a weird situation is that this has been public ever since it started happening. Videos about the fighting, there's videos about Ukrainians in Kupyansk in all different areas, videos about Russians in Kupyansk also, and now there are videos of Ukrainians being in the areas where Russians were previously. And the weird part is Zelensky announced all of this. They said the dates have been set. We will clear Kupyansk. He said that on November 4th. And now, my friends, I would like to bring to you a Russian fighter from Kupyansk area telling how they're doing there. We're getting the F out of this place where we were dumped. Deliberately, right in the effing hell. I don't know how many of us are still left. This is all of us. Our whole group. I don't know what's going to happen next, but we've left the effing position. It's a total mess here. We were just being killed, thrown into a meat grinder. Our entire company that we arrived with, the one you saw, is completely wiped out. There are a few wounded left, mostly everyone's killed. By a lucky chance, I managed to avoid all these shites so far. We want to drink and eat. It's effed up. It's effing insane what the Ukrainians are doing. There's F-load of drones there. Bodies are lying all over the place. Commander Korshun, Spartanets, and so on. They're yelling at us. You creatures and you effers, move forward. The minefields are all mined. Just imagine. Everyone's running, blowing up, screaming. And then this man goes on to explain how their commanders are pushing them to minefields while Ukrainian drones are saturated up in the sky, so they're taken up by the mines, or they demine these fields with their bodies while soaking up the Ukrainian drones, and the entire company is gone. And they say themselves that they left the positions, and Ukrainians claim that, yeah, we took the Russian positions. So everybody's saying that this is true in Kupyansk, but I see a lot of Russian cope right now saying that this is fake. Ukrainians are not in Kupyansk, fake information. Well, all the videos are saying it, the Russians themselves are saying it. I don't know how they can claim this stuff. Now, my friends, let's travel to another city where massive fighting is going on. Kupyansk was one area, it is a Ukrainian success. Now let's go to Pokrovsk and Mirnograd. And Russians themselves filmed this video. As you can see here, 3 horsemen, 3 musketeers, 3 legendary fighters on top of horses, samurai. These are Russian troops in Pokrovsk, and I do feel bad for the horses. Russians are not really known to treat their animals really well. They tend to eat them. I do hope they don't eat these horses, but yeah, you can see them. They're on horseback in Pokrovsk. And talking about Pokrovsk, my friends, I don't know if you remember or if you saw this, but Russian #1 propagandist Solovyev was in Pokrovsk making a propaganda stunt about 2 weeks ago. Now let's watch. They claim all of Pokrovsk under Russian control. This is not true. There are both Ukrainian and Russian fighters in majority of these areas. Let's watch the report of where Ukrainian soldiers are. They themselves say where they are, so it's pretty straightforward. This is Solovyev, the clown. Russians have once again announced the capture of the entire city of Pokrovsk, which they have announced about 1 million times now. The success of propagandists is movement in the fog along a limited route. So every time there is heavy fog, Russians move to positions because Ukrainian drones cannot really see well. They make these videos, flags planted everywhere. Solovyev in Pokrovsk saying, yeah, I'm in the city center, we own the city. As soon as the fog clears, they don't show you that there are massive drone carnage videos going out. I enjoy them every day. So they use this limited route. Rag of the Russian Federation, they planted the flag immediately. And what is weird about this, they were in such a hurry because the fog was clearing out that they planted the Russian flag onto this flagpole, right? But they did not remove the Ukrainian flag. So this is one of the only areas in this whole war where you can see Ukrainian and Russian flags on the poles right next to each other. Have you seen this in the last 4 years anywhere in the West or in the world? It doesn't happen. But here in Pokrovsk, Russian and Ukrainian flags right next to each other. So weird. I'm a soldier of the 425th Assault Regiment Skala. My call sign is Mason. Right now, at this very moment, I am in the city of Pokrovsk, repelling enemy attacks. Don't believe the armchair experts. Pokrovsk is ours and we are holding on to it with all our might. The Scalia regiment, together with the other units, is conducting assault raids in Pokrovsk. I am soldier of the 425th Regiment Skala. My call sign is unclear. Today is the December 12th, 2025, so these videos are fresh. We are fighting in Pokrovsk. I'm soldier in the 425th of the 1st Infantry Battalion. 1st Assault Battalion. I am in the center of Pokrovsk. My brothers and I control everything. The victory will be ours, my friends. We will definitely not surrender this city. And Russians will break their teeth. And don't believe any media that write that Pokrovsk belongs to them. That is a lie. Glory to Ukraine, glory to the heroes. Героям слава.
Слава Україні. Смерть ворогам. Я вас всіх люблю, люблю.
So, all of that propaganda that the Russians are puking out, unfortunately Donald Trump is eating that up. I don't know why, I cannot understand for the life of me why that man decides to take the Russian information instead of the Ukrainian ones. I cannot fit it into my head. But Russian fighters are in Pokrovsk. Putin claimed Kupyansk is there 1 month ago. Now Ukrainians are clearing Kupyansk. Obviously Russians are lying. There are plenty of videos about it. So yeah, Pokrovsk has not fallen, Mirnohrad has not fallen. Ukrainians are making daily assault raids into Russian positions, eliminating tons of enemy in that city. I enjoy these videos. Every time I wake up, I scroll my channels, my sources, and I watch these videos of entire columns of Russians being burned up in these areas. It's a great time to wake up. A few days ago, my friends, a video was released about the crash of the Antonov 22 in Russia. It crashed into a lake. It was one of the oldest Russian heavy transports in the Ministry of Defense, and it should not fly. It's like over 50 years without maintenance. You say F-16 is a 50-year-old plane, right? They maintain the hell out of that airframe. They maintained it so, it's over-maintained. In Russia, though, they don't. As I mentioned with the trains, with the railways, also Antonov 22, it crashed. They hate maintenance. So we now got a video of it. It turns out 3 or 4 of those members inside that plane, they jumped out right before it crashed. And they took these parachutes that were inside that plane. The plane itself, super old, almost like dinosaurs. I'm guessing the parachutes were also, because from this video, well, let's watch it. Look at that. First of all, the plane just flipped in half like a twig. That should not happen to a plane. But if the plane is super old, perhaps rusty, perhaps, and the metal is old and tired, let's say it like that, it breaks in half, see. And the crew members, they are jumping out one by one, 1, 2, 3. They're opening their parachutes, but they don't open. They don't open. Why? Well, maybe because the parachutes are also like 50, 60 years old, from the 1970s, not switched out, super old. And yeah, that's the outcome. We know none of the crew survived, none of the ones survived inside that plane, because it's Russia. So you can see the airframe cut in half, right? And they jumped out, and the parachutes that were supposed to open, they didn't open. I wonder why. It's Russia. That's how it is. If you want more detailed information, here is everything checked out for you. I'm not going to go into it, but you can pause the video and watch it yourself. My friends, I saw this funny video. I don't know where this man comes from. He's black. I think it comes from like a Middle Eastern or perhaps Northern African country. He was hoping to be in Europe. They always want to be in Europe, but there's a surprise. I cannot say the M word. But check it out. Jumps off, is quite happy. Look how happy he is. Russia? Oh, you're going to the front, my friend. You are going to be manure for the sunflowers. Yeah, in Russia, you're an illegal immigrant in Russia. What are they gonna do to you? They're not gonna send you back. They're gonna send you to fight the war, to soak up some bullets. I saw another video. I'm guessing this comes again from Pokrovsk area. This is a Ukrainian FPV, and there's tons of FPV videos. I usually wouldn't show them to you, but this one is just so juicy. Usually, one FPV equals 1 KIA. Sometimes it's 2 FPVs, 1 KIA. But very rarely we get this occasion, and I'll let the video speak for itself. 1 FPV connects to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, these two, 7, 8, it's a whole squad, but these two are a little bit away smoking here. But these 6 are hugging together, tightly packed into a meat square. It connects to that, and I know the explosion of the FPV, it's enough to demilitarize, demobilize, and knock out cold all of these 6 dudes. Boom, gone. Look at that. That's a meat cluster. That's minced meat packed very tightly. Look at that. Oh, damn. 1 FPV, whole squad out. Pretty much a whole squad. That is insane. I wanted to share that with you. You don't get such effectiveness usually out of 1 FPV. A tank could eat up to 10 FPVs. And now, my friends, I want to go to Odessa. And this is a nice restaurant, right? But living in Ukraine, you're living next to a terrorist state, which is Russia, which is trying to eliminate your entire culture, way of life, and your entire people. So you're trying to have a nice dinner with your Tinder date in this nice restaurant. But Russians decided to put shaheds up in the air, and right on the patio of this restaurant there is an anti-air cannon, and they're shooting up. Such a weird situation. You're eating with your boyfriend or girlfriend, and this is right next to you. You're having your wine, and right next to it, they're shooting down Shahed drones. I mean, this nation, man, this nation is tough. If necessary, they will date around, Tinder, find a mate. If necessary, they will knock out all the Shahed drones from the air. This was it, Hump Days edition, my friends. I hope you got some good laughs out of this video, and hope your day is going wonderful and your week is going wonderful for you and your family. Now, my friends, Christmas is coming up, so go and get yourself a nice little Ukrainian wine from the Bakhmut cellars. It's not too late yet. Actually, it's the right exact time to do this. Check it out. My friends, after Ukraine wins the war, most things can be rebuilt, but there are things that are gone forever. Let me guide you through a piece of Ukraine's history that is now lost. Hidden 236 feet beneath the ancient ground of Bakhmut hides a secret, the world's deepest wine cellar. This was the birthplace of art wine, crafted using techniques passed down through generations. Art wine is not just a sparkling wine, it's a rare piece of history. On 24th of February 2022, Russia invaded Ukraine, and for a whole year, brave Ukrainian troops defended Bakhmut in the bloodiest battles of the entire war. But in March 2023, Prigozhin with his Wagner group entered the city. The home of art wine fell into the hands of the invaders. Wagner forces did not hide their presence. You can see the officer not believing his eyes. What a treasure they just stumbled upon. Art wine sparkling wine ages for years, and throughout that process, classical music was playing. To the amazement of the occupiers, it was still playing by the time they set their foot into those cellars. You can hear it for yourself. Listen. Not long after that, the leader of the Wagner group, Prigozhin himself, strolls around the cellars admiring the riches of the Ukrainian culture. Prigozhin, in the midst of stealing the bottles, decided to mock the Ukrainian women on Women's Day and wrote a greeting on one of the boxes while his crew was loading the sparkling wine to be taken away. It seemed as if this piece of Ukraine was lost. But it was not so. Just before the city fell, the bravest of men, risking their lives, smuggled out some bottles and they were sent to the US. These last bottles from the cellars of Bakhmut carry the bravery and resilience of the Ukrainian troops who defended the city, some to the very end. Today, in 2025, Ukraine is holding, innovating, creating their own missiles and hitting Russia back. This innovation shows in the Flamingo missile, pink, like the Brut Rosé sparkling wine from Art Wine. While the Flamingo destroys Russian oil refineries, these last Art Wine bottles wait for someone who cherishes their story. This is you. You have seen the suffering and resilience of Ukrainian people, so it is only right that you get the chance to own this piece of Ukrainian history, the last of its kind, a sparkling wine that will never exist again. I am working together with Art Wine to get you these last bottles, and only you can get the Rehi Flamingo Special Edition. There is even a flamingo sticker on the bottle for you. There is no better gift than this Flamingo sparkling wine. With it, you gift a piece of Ukrainian history and resolve. If you are looking for a meaning in a gift, well, here it is. This is the gift to someone you love. Get these very last bottles from Bakhmut at shop.artwine.com/products/flamingo. For now, these bottles cannot leave the safety of the United States, so only US orders are accepted. A once-in-a-lifetime chance to own or gift a piece of history that will never be made again. Slava Ukraini, my friends.